What's shaking, people? Back with another reaction, back with some more Fleetwood Mac. And we're back with the final tune on the 2004 remaster of the 1977 album Rumours, an album I've enjoyed and which has had maybe more variety than I expected, though admittedly going into this I had a very limited knowledge of who they were, though also fair to say there were multiple tracks along the way on this album where I realized after they started that, wait, I actually do know this tune. So yeah, getting to know them better through this clearly very prominent album has been a cool experience. Once again, shout out to Alicia and Han Solo, the latter of whom has shared another album with us, and ultimately I did mention I got my hands on a greatest hits Fleetwood Mac compilation, so more Fleetwood Mac after this. But yeah, the final tune on Rumours is Gold Dust Woman. It's an interesting phrase. It makes me wonder. One way I could read it is the idea of someone who's on the edges of success and affluence, maybe even opulence, but it's represented as gold dust because it's not as substantial as one would hope. It's not a gold nugget, a bar, or vault, but just the sort of powder, just the hint of that level of shiny, glittery, and valuable material. I suppose, you know, the phrase gold digger is sometimes used to indicate a woman who is trying to cozy up to someone of affluence in a way that, you know, is more about getting set and, you know, being able to buy things and less about the emotional connection with the person in question. And I don't know, maybe Gold Dust Woman is someone, you know, who does that unsuccessfully or only, you know, fleetingly, but keeps getting, you know, kicked out of a relationship by people who perhaps see her intentions. I don't know which of those seems more likely, and obviously neither of them could be relevant, but those are the two major thoughts I have when I see that title, so let's find out what it is. This is Fleetwood Mac, the track is Gold Dust Woman, and it's the final tune on the 1977 album Rumours. Silver Spoon, though, is, let's run in the other direction. Someone born of privilege and opulence. it on the grape. Heard it from the grape. Crazy guitar. Dimensional shouting. That'd be a good album title. Same. Like, you cannot characterize that track with only like 2 or 3 words. There's just so much going on there. It's one of the first tunes where I feel like from the very beginning I'm confident that's Stevie, yes? Like, again, going into this I didn't even realize they had 2 female vocalists, and then there were a couple tunes like where I was like, is that Stevie? Is that Chrissy? I think her name is. I'm still not like, confident of my understanding of all the members of the group, which I realize like at this point is already different from the lineup that started, but yeah, this one pretty clearly, I think that's Stevie, right? So, yeah, amazing vocals from her, and obviously there were like backing vocals. I think, there were multiple like moments where there were more than just the lead vocals, but yeah, really interesting tune. Lyrically, it sounds like, a guy was, seduced or caught up emotionally by a woman who wasn't necessarily interested in him per se, but maybe, his money, or maybe just having that experience and, getting him and then walking away and not really caring about it. And he's, trying to pick up the pieces and go home, which is interesting because normally it's like pick up the pieces, put them back together and move on, but it's like pick up the pieces and go home. And you might have to sell your, your empire? I forget exactly what the line was. But it suggests that, a guy got burned really hard, and it's almost like the narrator is less than fully sympathetic. It's, it's maybe not celebrating this experience, but sort of, like, hey, did you get, what you deserved, or did you get what I think you got? Like, it felt perhaps judgmental. So yeah, again, which is funny because, people have talked about this group has multiple songs where they pretty much relate directly to the complicated personal relationships behind the scenes as the years went along between the members or among the members. So yeah, it's, hearing that, I was thinking by the end, like, oh, maybe this is something that relates to that too. Again, it could just be a created concept for the song, but that did cross my mind. So yeah, a really cool ending tune, and by the end it was becoming more, outside the lines, not only that trans-dimensional shouting, but it, little vocal flares, little like guitar bits here and there. It just felt like it was really expanding into, like, not necessarily a psychedelic sound, but it was again beyond the regular simple inside the lines sort of sonics that like, basically I didn't expect that type of end, and as it was playing out it was like really striking the way it became this sort of larger than life quasi psychedelic sound. So cool tune, cool album. I do get why this album is very significant, and again, there were like 2 or 3 tracks where it's like, oh damn, like apparently I knew this album better than I realized, going into this. So once more, shout out to Alicia, shout out to Han Solo. We'll be on to that other album that he shared next, and then after that we'll go through the greatest hits, and I imagine there'll be at least a few that we would have already experienced. I know Dreams is on the greatest hits album, so we'll obviously skip over any of those, but I think there's going to be at least a few others that are not from either of the albums that we have gone through / are about to go through. So in any case, let me know what you think. I will see you next time. Peace.